This is Bumper to Bumper, the car show. Drive in anxious and cruise out confident. With the best automotive information for your vehicle. And now your hosts, Matt Allen and Dave Riccio.
Good food coma morning, everybody. This is Bumper to Bumper Radio. I am Dave Riccio here along with Matt Allen. We're heard every Saturday from 11 to noon at Bumper to Bumper Radio. We are helping you, the motoring public, have a better overall car repair experience. So if you got car questions, we've got car answers at 602-277-5827, 602-277-KTAR. You can also text your questions to 411-923. Today on the Bumper to Bumper Roadmap, some car tips and tricks, open phones and texts, of course. And are you treating your car right when it comes to oil changes? Matt, on Wednesday, how many phone calls came to your shop for people who go, I'm headed out of town tomorrow. I need to get my oil changed. Can you guys squeeze me in today?
Probably about well, it's funny, David, probably about half a dozen. And it wasn't just Wednesday. It was leading up. Can I get in Tuesday? I need an oil change. Why do you need an oil change? Because I'm going out of town. No, you don't need an oil change to go out of town. You know what I mean? I think it's just the placebo effect of the oil change that makes everybody feel good about their car, but they're always rushing at the last minute. And not only is it the people at the last minute that need an oil change, a lot of people may know our buddy Steve Filmer back in the Channel 3 day. He calls me up, hey, Matt, need an oil change. Okay, no problem. I can get you in, Steve. He's just going, works downtown, and give him a ride. And on my ride, I'm like, so you traveling this week? What do you got going on Thanksgiving? Oh, yeah, we're heading out to San Diego tomorrow. Oh, in the car we're doing an oil change on. Oh, yeah. Hey, Steve, did you think maybe that might have been important to tell us? Now, he's driving a newer Toyota. It's got 100,000 miles on it. He takes care of his car. I'm not really worried about that. But yeah, some of these people that came in, I said, just swing by. Let us check your oil. The last thing you want to do before you hit the road, I don't care if you got the best mechanic in the world. There's always a possibility for a defective part or something. Any elective procedure, don't do it before you go out of town. The day before, come on.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks before you head out of town. And it's funny how, you said placebo effect. Hey, I'm going to feel better about my car because it got some fresh juice in there. So, hey, it's going to work better, Yeah. But really.
As many people who got a speeding ticket right after washing their car. They wash your car and they go out for a test drive, make sure it runs good still.
Oh, they always run better after, yeah. It's true.
So same thing, though. Just, so now we have Christmas coming. We have our second round. So for those of you who are traveling, now's the time. You're sitting there, you're looking at the calendar when you're going to leave and what you're going to do and what hotel or resort or family or friend you're going to stay with and all that. Then you think, oh, okay, next on that list, people, write it down today, get the car checked.
Yep.
And black that calendar out like Dave's 2 weeks ahead of time.
And buy some nice Christmas gifts for the mechanic in your life. We appreciate those ahead of time, Actually, cash works because the right size and the right color.
Right.
But anyway, so oil changes, though, how often should you be doing them? And we could talk about this 10 ways till Tuesday or 500 ways till Tuesday.
I know.
But what is the need for oil changes? How much an oil change cost? And how much an oil change should cost? Well, that's a little bit deceiving because everyone gives it away as sort of a lost leader. Some more than others. Some are, what kind of oil are they shooting in your car for a $14 oil change? I don't know.
I think that, depending on what kind of car everybody's driving out there is, this may register differently with some people. I mean, most cars, let's just talk about the overwhelming majority of the cars are the Honda Accord, the Toyota Camry, the Dodge Journey, the American cars. You're not talking, your Hyundai, your Kia, that kind of stuff. Most cars, it should be about what the cost of an oil change should be, they should be hundreds of dollars, but they never will be.
Right.
So let's just cop to that right now. But I think that we have like three kind of different levels of oil changes. I'm not talking about synthetic or conventional oil, but you have that group of cars that's around $40, right? Would you agree, Dave?
$40.
$40 to $45 is the most common thing for most of your cars. And then you get into your mid-range cars that may require synthetic, like a new Camry is a synthetic, or some new Kias, and you get into the Volkswagens and Audis. And then
kick that up to $60 to $80.
$60, $80 for some of your four-cylinder Europeans. And then you get into your European cars and some of the higher-end Lexus and the big V8s and straight six-cylinder engines. And then those are going to be in the $150 range
Right, yeah, 120, 150, somewhere in there.
And the filters are typically more expensive. There's some more labor to go along with them. And then in some cases they have a, quote, special oil. I would call it special because we deal with it all the time.
Right.
So if you never deal with it, yeah, it's special. But they have an oil that's specific to that car that has to have certain. So that's kind of what you should be anticipating.
Well, let's talk about that $40 oil change.
The most common.
Your mainstream cars, I mean, a $40 oil change is typically going to be a synthetic blend, and I like to argue that we're probably on the fence between going to full synthetic on everything. Like,
yes.
It's just a better oil, and really the price difference, as the conventional oils have gotten better, and as the blends in some ways have gotten better, it's just like the price difference between the two is not that much. We may just shoot it full synthetic and everything. I say shoot because we got a gun that pumps it in.
Yeah, we're doing the same thing at my shop in Virginia Auto. We're trying to get away from that 3,000 mile oil change. So that's the next question: is how often?
Mm-hmm.
You need to look at your owner's manual, and I say that for the low end. You don't want to go over the minimum. There's still some Dodge products that are out there that say 6,000 miles. I see some still at 3,000 miles. If the manufacturer says 3,000 miles, you got to do it if you want to maintain the warranty, because you don't want to give them any out.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, Dave, we're trying to transition to that 5,000 mile oil change, and I don't like to see anything more than 7,500.
Well, think about the 5,000 mile oil change. And one thing I think as a consumer you can be aware of, you need to be aware of what kind of oil goes in your car. What is required in your car, and that's going to be in your owner's manual. You can find it there, because some of these places that have this like $14 oil change, I don't even know what they're shooting in the.
Well,
some of them are doing recycled oil. There's some really crap oil out there. I was just going to go somewhere, and you shut me down a little bit. But to some point, the brand doesn't matter. Because there is standards.
There are standards. So if they have the seal of approval on them, which most places now, you talk about that recycled oil. Valvoline has some next gen oil.
Mm-hmm.
You know what the problem with that? When it first came out, they had it priced too low. Nobody bought it because they thought it was too cheap. They doubled the price, and the sales went through the roof.
Really?
Yeah, just because it was the perception that it was used oil, and when in fact it was good oil. I don't know if they still have that. I haven't seen much about that. I think it just kind of went away. It didn't take off. They didn't think the greenies and like that we're going to go for that. Did, but the 5,000 mile oil change, Dave, I say 7,500 tops. A lot of your newer cars, you got the BMW, the Mercedes, and they want to remember they're marketing to busy professionals that want a high-end car. They want the car to be a convenient ownership, and it isn't convenient at times to go to the shop. So if you only have to go in once a year with the car, that's great marketing, but in reality, if you're going to keep that, and hey, if you're going to lease the car and keep it for 3 years and ditch it and get a new one, hell with it. Change the oil.
Somebody else's problem.
Yeah, change the oil when the light comes on. But if you're going to keep that car and have that thing for 7 or 10 years and drive it 100,000, 150,000 miles, you want to make sure you're shortening that oil change, even if it comes with a free oil change.
The other thing that really plays into this, you take some of these cars. Let's just take a Honda Civic, right? Holds 4 quarts of oil. Yeah. Let's say it has an oil consumption problem, right? Well, we don't necessarily want to go out to the full extent of the oil change if it's burning, a quart of oil every 1,000 miles. We're going to run out of oil before it ever gets changed. We need to find out what's burning oil. But one question I think that people should ask is, hey, can you guys check my oil level? Let me know what it is before you do the oil change to know if you have an oil consumption problem, because I think most people are unaware of that.
Or better yet, if you don't know what your oil level is, ask the shop when you go in, when you're making your appointment, can you spend 5 minutes with me and show me how to check my oil?
That's true.
So you know for yourself. But you're right, Dave, the oil capacities, and there's more and more new cars that we're seeing low on oil.
Mm-hmm.
And the manufacturer's saying it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's a lot of snake oils and additives and special sauces and juices to put in cars. We've had some luck with some of them. The BG products that we use. We've had Minis and Volkswagens burn in oil. The problem is they burn a little bit of oil, and then that oil gets down on the oil control ring and hardens that and crystallizes or carbons up. And now the oil control ring isn't working, and you got high combustion temperature, so you're facilitating the burning and consumption of more oil, and it doesn't stop. So we can actually clean that up and solve that problem in some cases. You can't fix a mechanical problem. I mean, if a ring is broken, a ring is broken.
Right.
Put all the super sauce you want in it. But if it's carboned up and the manufacturers, they design these things right, but they can't. I mean, their laboratory is perfect world conditions.
For sure.
Not real world.
Well, oil changes is a topic that I think we could, you guys have questions about oil change. You certainly call us and ask anything related to your car. Give us a call at 602-277-5827. The one thing that comes up, Matt, when we're going to have a cold snap here pretty quick, and the dead batteries are going to show up. That's why they rate batteries in cold cranking amps, because cold is just as bad as hot is on batteries. Thank God it only gets down to like 30 here,
right?
If we're lucky. So, we are testing batteries all winter long. If the battery's bad, we're going to recommend you get an interstate battery in your car. Great battery, warranty-wise, coast to coast. So if you do take that thing out of town for Christmas, you got a good battery in there that if there was a problem, you could find an interstate dealer. So when we come back, we're taking your phone calls at 602-277-5827, 602-277-KTAR. You're listening to Matt and Dave, your bumper-to-bumper, Matt and Dave on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Trust. It's hard to earn and sometimes even harder to find. If you live or work in downtown Phoenix, Matt Allen's Virginia Auto Service is celebrating over 20 years of award-winning service at the corner of 7th Street and Virginia. Recognized as one of the best service shops in the country, their customers have come to trust Virginia Auto Service for its A-plus rating by the BBB, 2-year 24,000-mile warranties, and free transportation to and from your home or office. 20-plus years of earning your trust. Virginia Auto Service. They're serious about service.
There is nothing more important than family. Hi, Kurt Rock here for Kurt's Auto Repair. I brought my nephew and general manager, Jeff Rock, to help spread the word.
Thanks, Pops. Yep, the more things change, the more they stay the same at Kurt's. Family owned and operated, our ASE Master Techs and family ethics have earned us a perfect Better Business Bureau record for over 30 years. Just east of I-17 at 22nd Avenue in Bell or online at mycarhurts.com.
Gas or diesel, foreign or domestic, if your car hurts, take it to Kurt's.
Well, at Bumper to Bumper Radio, we want to make sure you're awake this morning, recovering from your food coma, from all the Thanksgiving goodies and pumpkin pie. We still had a full pumpkin pie last night, and we went out, shot some pool with our friends, and drank some beer, and I was so happy to see there was a pie when I got home. I had 4 slices. Stuff is fantastic.
Dave's chowing down on
Oh,
pie.
yeah.
I actually finally had my first plate of leftover turkey. I had I just make this mound, and when you're building it, it doesn't really seem like it's that much, and then you put it in the microwave and you pull it out. You're like, what a fat bastard I am. I mean, this is horrible. And then when you're done, you're like, oh my God, I just ate that big pile of beans and turkey and gravy and potatoes. Just this goulash of
stuffing,
goodness.
Good. Ladyfingers, good. Ground beef, good. You ever seen that Friends episode?
No.
Where Rachel makes the trifle? Fantastic.
You guys have too much time in your hand for the
sure
sitcom
do.
television.
For sure. So we're here helping with your car at 602-277-5827, 602-277-KTAR. We talked a bit about oil changes, but we can talk about anything you want to talk about.
Dave, when talking about the oil changes, there's so much more that goes with an oil change. We originally talked about how much should an oil change cost. And I think we've copped to the fact that an oil change is around $40, give or take. You got some coupons out there. I mean, occasionally I'll run a $24 or $29.95 oil change. Oil change when I opened 25 years ago, we're both having the tongue tied today.
Yep.
By the way, it was yesterday of 1994 when I got the keys to my shop and opened up. So 24 years now. A little applause for myself.
Wow, all right. That's a big deal. You're going to hurt your arm there.
Yeah, I know, huh?
It's bad for the shoulder.
Anyway, so $14.95 is what I was doing oil changes for 25 years ago.
Wow.
Think about that. So they were probably like that.
Gallon of gas was $1.
35 years
Gallon
ago,
of gas was $1.
But an oil change should, if you take a good technician, they make $35 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oil change takes 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So right there's the cost of, just in the cost of labor alone without even any profit for the business. And then you buy oil at $2.25 a quart in a $5 oil filter that you sell for $6.95 or something like that. I mean, that oil change should be over $100 every single day of the week, but it's not. So what happens, though, when you get an oil change, we're always looking at the car. So not only when you get an oil change, you have the chance to get in the wrong oil or the bad oil or some advice, we're always going to tell you the problems with your car, the things that we see. And that's why a bad oil change can be bad for the car, but a bad oil change. I had a car the other day, a Prius. I think Tim and I might have talked about this on the radio last week when you were gone. And they were at a local dealership, and I'm assuming, they got their green service. That's that overinflated oil change and tire rotation that says check brakes and adjust a bunch of stuff that doesn't need adjusting and all this stuff. But they recommended a new timing cover on this Prius. It was a $2,500 repair. So the people brought us to us for a second opinion. It needed a $400 repair. The kid that was doing the oil change
didn't know any better.
Didn't know what he was talking about. He recommended the wrong repair. All this started with an oil change. These people are like, $2,500, I'm getting rid of this car. 75,000 miles, which would have been a dumb decision anyway. It would have been a bad choice. Even if it needed $2,500 worth of work, you're better off just to do the work and keep the car and move on.
Prius, great car.
Yeah, Prius. You're not going to go wrong. So they're getting ready to make a bad decision off of bad information to spend $2,500 when all it needed was a $400 repair because the guy, I'm assuming, just dishonest or incompetency, one of the two, but either way, it's not a good answer to the question. So you got to be careful. Ask questions. That's why you say, show me where that leak is coming from. When you're in there for the oil change, let's talk about those things.
We got phone calls starting to roll in here at 602-277-5827. We're going to go with Paul in Mesa. He's got a 2013 Ford Focus. How can we help you, Paul? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hey, guys. So I've been listening to you guys for a while now, and you guys really piqued my interest. Anyway, so I got a 2013 Ford Focus ST, and it's a manual, and I've never had a manual before, and I've been driving it ever since it was brand new, so I got it in 2013 or so. And just recently, it's kind of been acting up on me a little bit on the gas pedal, and so when I give it gas, it's kind of like my shifter kind of grinds, and I can hear it. And then I'm just curious what that could be, maybe the clutch is going or something.
How many miles are on your Ford Focus?
70,000.
70,000. Is it grinding when you go from gear to gear, or is it just a grindy noise?
No gear to gear. So I'd already be in gear, and then I give it gas, and then it grinds.
It doesn't really, to me, resonate with any sort of transmission problem. I mean, it may sound like it's the shifter or something like that, but one example I would think of, just based off the mileage, it sounds like you might have a bad mount. Okay, when you got a bad mount, the engine just kind of moves a little bit in the compartment, and there's cables that run from that shifter out to the engine. So if you have an engine that's really resting on the frame without the rubber underneath it, that'll transfer a lot of noise into the cab of the car. That's just a wild guess.
I was leaning towards maybe not between gears, but a throw-out bearing maybe if the noise kind of changed with the speed of the engine.
Right.
One thing I might say, if you can accelerate, but not press on the clutch, Dave. I think you wanted to go somewhere else, but if you want to just give a light clutch pedal pressure, if you can change that noise, that might lead us into a narrower focus on a
right.
On a
if you can affect the noise with the clutch pedal, certainly would be a thing. But otherwise, you're not really having any issue as far as how it works?
Yeah, no, just like I said, I'll be in third gear, and then I want to go a little faster, and I give it more gas, and then I hear the grind, and I feel the grind in the shifter, and I hear it.
Yeah,
right.
Paul, those things will transfer through. Probably one of the best bets, if you go to bumpertobumperradio.com, you'll find Tri-City Transmission there. I see you're in Mesa. That'd be a good avenue. Anytime you have a transmission problem, anybody down that part of the valley, Tri-City Transmission, go there, call them up, make an appointment. They can get a time where they can get a technician or somebody to go for a test drive with you and hear that noise. And a lot of time from there, that's the best thing. Make sure you're both on the same page, and then let them have an opportunity to take a look at it for you. And that'll be a good resolution for you, Paul. So.
For sure. We got Gina, Phil, and Peter. Thanks for the call, Paul, at 602-277-5827. We're going to go with Phil in Phoenix. He's got a 2016 Ford F250. How can we help you, Phil? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Going with your program, it's about my oil light came on, says I need to change it, but I've got like 3,000 miles left. You know, I do a 5,000 mile change, and but I see it wasn't done. Last oil was in April of 17. Do I need to change that Mobil 1 synthetic, or is it still good for 3,000?
I'm a little confused. It was done April of last year,
right?
April of 17, and you have only driven it how many miles?
2,000.
2,000. Wow.
It's not my primary vehicle.
Yeah. You know, I'm sure that oil is good in there. I don't think there's really any need to change it, really.
He did say the oil light. You said the oil light came on?
Well, it says oil change required.
Right. So now, but
so it wasn't like the danger light or anything.
Well, but so here's the deal, and it happens sometimes. Was that light reset when they did the oil change 2,000 miles ago? See, if it wasn't reset, the car isn't smart enough, obviously, to know that we put fresh oil in it. So you may be out of cycle.
Either was the technician that should have reset the light.
Well, but if it wasn't on, yeah, but if it wasn't on, it
happens.
It happens sometimes if it's not on.
Yeah, I've had that happen on my Toyota when I've taken it and they didn't reset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phil, what I would do if it was me, and I'm just like even numbers or odd numbers or things that you know, just to make it easy, I'd find the next oil change interval, some kind of easy mileage, and just say, forget it, I'm going to go get it done. And then make sure everything's reset at the same time, and then watch it from there. But, man, 3,000 miles a year, not even. You know, that's one of those ones where you just go in, and then maybe you've got to go get full service gas. You get full service gas, you got all those things checked that we kind of did with an oil change. So
there's so many things under the hood you can't even check anymore. You open it up, you don't see any like dipsticks. There's nothing there. They just put a nice plastic shroud over everything.
Yeah, they put these
fancy
shields.
The motor has just been veneered out, so it looks pretty. Yeah. Well, that's a really pretty looking engine.
Yeah.
It's like when people are on the side of the road and they pop their hood open and they look at it. What are you gonna do? Nothing, right?
Nothing will be on your cell phone.
Right.
It's just the male thing where you just got to stand there and look like, nod your head a little bit. Pretend for a second.
I played a mechanic once on TV. Anyhow, when we come back, we've got Gina, and we've got Peter, and we've got Cody, and more open lines at 602-277-5827. You listen to Matt and Davey, or KTAR Car Guys, on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
It sounds like they've just had the accurate automotive experience. We're family-owned and operated and have served the Mesa, Tempe, Gilbert communities for over 22 years. We focus on building long-lasting relationships and, listening to you so that we can understand, meet, and exceed your expectations. One location, 14 bays, 88 years of automotive expertise, and a passionate commitment to customer service and excellence. My name is Lee Weatherby, and I approve this message because it's true. We love what we do, and we want to do it for you. Accurate Automotive, the home of friends serving friends.
Some say one of the worst sounds you can hear is a car crash.
Yes, and all the stress that goes with that can be worse.
The accident is stressful enough. The repair process doesn't have to be. Hi, this is Kevin,
Dave,
and Leo,
and we're the collision team at Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Individually, we own Campus Body Salon, I-17 Collision, and First Class Auto Body. Together, we're an unbeatable team working for you, not the insurance company, to get your job done right. Check us out at bumpertobumperradio.com.
Here's what Carrie from Tempe had to say about her experience with Good Works Auto Repair.
As soon as you realize, I need to get some work done on my car, I'm sure the thought occurs to you that you're about to get taken for a ride. I used to share the same sentiment and wondered if the shop was going to make something up and have me spending hundreds of dollars instead of $30 I was planning on for a simple oil change. This is one of the reasons I will only go to Good Works Auto Repair. Because I trust them. Putting trust in an auto shop didn't come easily. It's been built over several visits with them doing exactly what was needed, not coercing me into unnecessary work. Ask them for an oil change and a safety inspection, they do just that. No baloney, list of filters, belts, and whatchamacallits that need replacing on my new car. Thank you, Good Works Auto Repair, for being there for me when I need you.
Appreciate the kind words. It's always a pleasure. Glenn Hayward here. Come experience what award-winning auto service should be. Good Works Auto Repair in Tempe, or visit us at goodworksautorepair.com.
Arizona's news station. KTAR. On air, 92.3 FM. Online at KTAR.com. And streaming live on the KTAR News app. Your breaking news and traffic. Now.
KTAR News Time is 11:30. I'm Julie Levin. The city of Tijuana is declaring a humanitarian crisis as 5,000 migrants arriving there wait to request asylum in the United States.
The president raising the possibility of allowing U.S. troops to use lethal force.
If they have to, they're going to use lethal force. I've given the okay. Yeah, if they have to, I hope they don't have to. But, you know, you're dealing with a minimum of 500 serious criminals.
Secretary of Homeland Security Kirstjen Nielsen said that there are 500 serious criminals and gang members in this caravan. But when asked what crimes they committed and how they identify them, she gave no evidence.
That's ABC's Tara Palmieri. The White House is criticizing a government report on climate change, but environmental policy experts say the new Congress offers a chance to work on bipartisan proposals to reduce pollution.
Some agencies are going to struggle more with getting the work done, but there are career staff in all of these agencies that know what needs to be done.
That's scientist Joel Clement, the former director of the Department of Interior's Policy Office. Let's get a check now on our traffic and weather. In the Valley Chevy Dealers Traffic Center, it's Mike Daniels.
Thank you, Julie. We got a crash on 27th Avenue, just south of the I-10 to watch out for. A wreck in Chandler on Dobson and Ray Road. And we do have that injury accident involving a motorcycle on Deer Valley Road, just west of Cave Creek. This report brought to you by Lund Mortgage. Increased property values mean you might be able to finally drop your mortgage insurance. Ask the Lund Mortgage team how you can start saving hundreds of dollars every month. Just call 623-875-9940 today. I'm Mike Daniels, KTAR News.
KTAR weather for the valley is starting to warm up. We're going to hit a high of 72 today. Weather brought to you by Howard Air. Whether replace or repair, call Howard Air. It's 63 degrees and carefree. I'm Julie Levin on Arizona's news station, KTAR News.
We were Arizona's first radio station, beginning our journey with an AM broadcast nearly 100 years ago. Fast forward to present day, and KTAR, the radio station, is not just a radio station. It's a news, talk, and information resource that you can connect with from the dashboard of your car, from an app on your phone, on your computer, and also on your smart speaker. Whether your smart speaker responds to Alexa, Google, or Siri, ask it to play KTAR and embrace the power of now.
Life's good news often comes with a little bad news, right? Hi, Dave Riccio, owner of Tri-City Transmission and co-host of Bumper to Bumper Radio. Car repair seems to follow that same trend. The good news, transmissions are lasting twice as long as they used to. The bad news, they can cost as much as $1,000 more than you might remember. So if you're going to have to spend some money on a new transmission, you want to be sure you really need it. And if you do, that it's done right at a fair price. For over 45 years, Tri-City Transmission has built a reputation for having the experience and expertise to properly diagnose and repair your transmission without costly overhaul or replacement. If we do have to recommend a major transmission repair, you can be assured you're getting an honest recommendation and a job done right at a fair price. I guarantee it. Check us out online at TriCityTransmission.com. That's TriCityTransmission.com. TriCityTransmission.com.
Ho, 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 and happy holidays! Bunker to Bunker the Golf Show invites you to celebrate the season at our annual Toys for Tots two-person scramble tournament at the Trilogy Golf Club at Vistancia. Join us Saturday, December 15th for golf, prizes, barbecue lunch, and after party, all for just $96 when you bring an unwrapped toy for the kids. Remember, bring a toy and Santa stuffs your stocking with a coupon for another round of golf. Space is limited, so don't miss out on our last event of the year. Register today at bunkergolf.com.
Gas or diesel, foreign or domestic. If your car hurts, take it to Kurt's.
That's our closing line, Pops.
I know, Jeff. Just reinforcing that we're full-service auto repair.
At Kurt's Auto Repair, we do it all, including diesel. We have the passion, training, equipment, and expertise for diesel. Our techs are ASE certified for diesel and advanced diesel diagnostics. Toy hauling, horse trailering, off-roading, or work trucking, we've got you covered.
Gas or diesel, foreign or domestic. If your car hurts, take it to Kurt's. Check us out at mycarhurts.com.
Few cities are as car-centric as Phoenix, and this is the show that'll help you to better understand that machine you depend on to get around the valley. It's Bumper to Bumper Radio. KTAR News on 92.3 FM and the KTAR app for Android and iPhone.
Well, welcome back to Bumper Radio. I'm Dave Riccio here along with Matt Allen, and we're helping you with your car. And for those of you that don't tune in regularly to the show, we're going to tell you what Bumper to Bumper Radio is about. It's to put you in the know about your car to relieve anxiety. The other thing that Bumper to Bumper Radio is, and it's supported by a group of shops that Matt and I would carte blanche refer you to. Go here. There's a website online, bumpertobumperradio.com, and there's a list of shops all over the valley, people that we would feel comfortable with sending you to. One of the shops that I think of that's not too far from my shop is Good Works Auto Repair. They're 101 in Broadway. They run a fantastic operation. If you're one of those people that just goes from shop to shop, wherever the coupon is for that cheapest oil change, I would venture to say you're probably not getting very good auto service. No, because what I know is you got to have a relationship with a shop. So if you're looking for a shop, you're anywhere in the Tempe, Chandler area, Good Works Auto Repair, you can find them at bumpertobumperradio.com. If you've already got a great shop and you've got a good relationship with them, stick with them by all means. But if you're an orphan customer, you need to find a home. That's the best way to relieve anxiety when it comes to auto repair. So anyhow, we got Scott, we've got Peter, we've got Cody, and we're going to go with Gina in Phoenix. She's got a 1989 Chevy Blazer. How can we help you, Gina? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hi, hey, thanks for taking the call. Okay, this is an oil question. Just one of the placebo things. I have to take my emissions test next month. I got my oil changed 4.5 months ago, and it's still below 3,000 miles. Should I do it before the emissions test? Some say you should. Is that a myth?
Nope. Just go get it to emissions test. One of the key to your emissions test. I mean, you want to check your oil, make sure it's full. I guess that's do your due diligence.
I do. Yeah, I do. I check it regularly.
Yeah, then just check it, and then there's no need to get it change the oil before an emissions test. If you have a poor running car, sometimes the oil will become fuel fouled when you see that more in carbureted cars.
When I used to work for the Jeep Tour company, I used to always change oil because it got so much fuel in that oil.
Yeah, exactly. But I would. The best thing to do if you're going to go down to emissions, that is one that they will drive on the rollers. To make sure the car is heated up. Make sure it's been through a drive cycle. It's up to operating temperature. And to me, operating temperature means the heater blows hot air.
Okay.
Or the temperature gauge is about halfway. That's a properly warmed up car, and then take it through emissions. And that's
But don't pull out of your driveway and straight in the emissions bay.
Yeah.
You will fail.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not studying for your test. If you're going to study for the test, warm it up.
The only
that's
studying is a 10-mile test drive. Yes, exactly.
For sure. Hopefully that helps. Gina, thanks for the call, 602-277-5827. We're going to go with Peter in Scottsdale. He's got a 2005 Dodge Durango. How can we help you, Peter? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Yeah, well, I was listening about your oil changes. I've got a 2005 Durango with a Hemi engine in it, 5.7, and I've got 197,000 miles on it. But I've always taken it to like Danny's Car Wash when they were around, or the car wash where I got a car wash and an oil change. Put 20-40 oil in it. The car doesn't burn a drop of oil, nothing, and I even tow a 3,500-pound boat with it twice a week up to the lake.
Wow.
I've had it for since 2005. Before that, I had a Chevy Caravan,
Dodge Caravan,
GMC Safari 6-cylinder, the V6, and then before that, I had an Aerostar with a V6 in it. Same thing, 150,000 when I sold them, and 170,000 when I sold them.
For sure.
And that's where I get my oil changes.
It just goes to prove that an oil change is good, cheap,
right?
Insurance and preventative maintenance. And he did well. He was at the car wash, and that worked out well. I mean, that's always saying that that's a bad idea. Car wash is good to get the car wash and get the occasional oil change. I think you should do it with the blessing from your shop.
Right,
I mean, I'm going to be the godfather of your car. If you come to me, that's Dave, and I know it's the same way at your shop. We'll manage your car repairs for you. We'll help you with that. If you need to go to the dealer for a recall, we'll help facilitate that. If we think it's okay, if you want to go get the car wash and the oil change at the car wash, we'll say, yeah, good. Go do that twice, but don't buy anything. There's nothing wrong with your car. You don't need the fuel injection service or the cabin air filter or the extra little juice they put in or additive or anything like that. And that's okay because believe me, we don't really want to do oil changes.
Right. It's a necessary part of the deal.
Evil. But you can get decent service there. But don't get the rest of your. I would never recommend getting the rest of your car maintenance done there. It's a convenience for a car wash, really.
Well, the proof is, Matt, you're talking about this car that's got 75,000 miles on it with a Toyota Prius, and it needed a $2,500 repair, and they're like, oh, we're just going to get rid of the car. That car's barely even broken in.
Yeah.
I guess if you want to empty your, pocket on a new car all the time, you can do that. But this guy's talking about keeping his car 180,000 miles. The last one had 160. And these cars are only getting better. They're designed to go 200,000 miles, even if you're not a pro at taking care of them. I mean, you can get some decent life out of these cars, if not 300,000 miles.
Oh, big time.
And sometimes, families they got the nice car that they run back and forth. They're going to go to San Diego. They're going to drive coast to coast. Yeah, you want probably a newer car to do that. You can do that with an older car, but then sometimes you got the older car that's got 250,000 miles on it, and it does the trick.
You got the beater that you take to the airport, or the airport car, the downtown car. You don't care about traffic and door dings and whatever. Yeah.
For sure. We're going to go with Cody in Phoenix. He's got a 2002 Dodge Ram 1500. How can we help you, Cody? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Yeah, guys. Thanks for taking my call. I appreciate it.
No worries.
So I'm having a little bit of an issue with my transmission because I know you guys are the transmission guys. I have a, and this is what you guys always say: don't listen to a friend. But I had a guy
get a new one.
Yeah, exactly. No, he didn't actually say get a new one. He said if the engine light comes on with my transmission, don't go get a new one. Just go get it checked out because if there's a sensor on the side of the transmission that will pull up that or throw up the code for the engine light, and it's been missing a little bit. It's only got 129,000 miles on it.
What motor do you have on there so I can picture the transmission?
The 5.9.
5.9 liter. So you got like a 46 RE, I think is the model number of that transmission that's in there. So is the check engine light on now?
No, it's not.
Okay.
But I'm just worried about it coming on, because he just told me this like a couple of days ago, and he used to work on Dodges and stuff, and so I was just worried about it. And then knowing that you guys do transmissions and stuff, I was like, all right, maybe I should ask these guys because these guys might have a, just in case. Cause,
I tell people this all the time. I say there's like 200 different reasons the check engine light comes on, and we're a transmission shop, and so they'll call up, and we fix everything on the car, but they'll call up and say, well, my check engine light is on. Do I have an engine problem or a transmission problem? They describe to me, oh, that sounds like a transmission problem. Your check engine light will come on for a transmission problem. Some of the cars do things different. Honda flashes the little indicator lights for drive D1, D2, D3.
For a
transmission problem. Now, Ford flashes the overdrive light. So everybody has a little different method.
But the bottom line is the check engine light there is an emissions control device. Anything that can cause the car to emit higher emissions while driving will cause that check engine light to come on. People say, well, why my transmission? Well, if the transmission's not going to engage into the right gear, it might run at a higher RPM. And if it's running at a higher RPM, it's not as efficient, it's more fuel, so therefore it can have the ability to affect the fuel economy and the emissions, therefore the check engine light comes on. Now, you can have some transmission failures that aren't going to affect emissions, and I think that's when the overdrive light flashes or when the D4 light on the Honda flashes sometimes. But if it's a modern car and it's going to affect drivability or emissions, it has to turn on the check engine light.
Well, one of the things that cracks me up about people with their internet research, they'll come in and they'll say, hey, I got my Toyota here, and I've been reading up on the internet, they got transmission problems, right? And I'm like, no, really, they don't. They're like no different than any other. Maybe they're better than the rest. But the thing about the internet is people type in the problems. People don't type in the successes. Oh, gosh, I've had this Toyota. It's got 300,000 miles on it. I still got the same transmission. That's not going to be in there. But you're going to find out, oh, it's got this problem and that problem and the other problem. It's definitely the WebMD of car repair. Sometimes you go there.
It's that feeling. Oh, it's the validating what you think you're right. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then you feel good about. Hey, I'm just as guilty. You want to find something to support what you believe, and you're going to find it on the internet.
You will find it on the internet.
And find the problem with your car that you don't have.
And people come in, they got the best possible transmission on the market. They're like, oh, I know there's all kinds of problems. Really? I didn't know that, and I'm in the business. but that's what you find on the internet is all the negative. So anyhow, when we come back, we've got Dan, we've got Rich, and we've got Scott. You listen to Matt and Dave, your KTAR Car Guys on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
What's the right call after a car accident? Hi, Leo Petrozello for Campus Auto Body Salon. I invite you to check us out online and see why so many people have made us their first call following their accident. Bumper to Bumper Radio approved, 5-star rated with Yelp and CarWise.com, and A+ rated by the BBB. Make your first call the right call to Campus Auto Body Salon. Check us out online at campusbodysalon.com. Serving the Valley since 1973, Campus Auto Body Salon, the best care in collision repair.
Trust. It's hard to earn and sometimes even harder to find. If you live or work in downtown Phoenix, Matt Allen's Virginia Auto Service is celebrating over 20 years of award-winning service at the corner of 7th Street and Virginia. Recognized as one of the best service shops in the country, their customers have come to trust Virginia Auto Service for its A+ rating by the BBB, 2-year 24,000-mile warranties, and free transportation to and from your home or office. 20-plus years of earning your trust. Virginia Auto Service. They're serious about service.
Honesty and integrity. It's the only option. Hi, Spencer Doucet for H&I Automotive. H is for honesty and I is for integrity. We built our business on these two principles.
Hi, this is Danny Grant. And I'm Paul Garcia. We're Spencer's business partners. Originally, we were customers that were referred by friends to check out this great shop in Mesa. We saw for ourselves how special the experience was at H&I.
Yep, we went from raving fans to good friends to enthusiastic partners when Spencer was looking to expand his business to the East Valley.
Thanks, guys. The overwhelming support from our customers, families, and partners has allowed us to celebrate the opening of our second, brand-new, state-of-the-art location in Gilbert. 2 locations, same principles. Quality service at a great value that you can count on for all your automotive needs. Backed with an industry-leading 60-month, 60,000-mile parts and labor warranty. We invite you to check us out at HNIautomotive.com.
Well, welcome back to Bumper Radio. I'm Dave Riccio here along with Matt Allen, and we are helping you with your car. We've got Scott, we've got Suzanne, we've got Dan, but we're going to go with Rich in surprise. He's got a 2005 Cadillac Escalade. How can we help you, Rich? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Yeah, hi. Thank you for taking my call.
You bet.
I got a 2005 Escalade 6.0 all-wheel drive, and I changed the transmission fluid on it. First and second gear are strong, but third's slipping, and I don't think I have overdrive anymore. You know what would be that?
Yeah, I have a pretty solid, educated guess if you'd like it.
Yep.
All right, that transmission in that thing is a 4L60. That's just the model number of it, 4L65. There's a couple variations of it, but there's a clutch in there called a 3/4 clutch. And it's kind of the weak spot in that transmission. So if you start to run low line pressure, as they do as they age, the first place it's going to go to is the 3/4 clutch. So you're not going to get third gear, and because you're not going to get third gear, you're not going to get fourth gear. But that's the way that one operates. So there is a possibility you could go in there. If the rest of the transmission looks pretty good, simply address the 3/4 clutch, service, filter, reseal, put it back in the vehicle. Or it may be, if it's worn out in general, it may need to be completely redone. So you're going to want to find a good shop to do that. You can go to bumpertobumperradio.com, and good luck with that.
Is that something that they would have to tear out the check, or is it?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, it would want to be verified. I mean, I can tell you so much. There's pressure tests that happen. There's scanning that's happened. Happens in the vehicle. When we're diagnosing a transmission, we're trying to see if we can fix it while it's in the car and not have to go to a major expense of removing the transmission from the vehicle. If we can, great. We're happy to do it because everyone's happier with that. But a 3/4 clutch, more than likely, it's going to be a situation where the transmission has to come out of the vehicle.
I guess I better turn my microphone if I want to talk. You've been going the whole time, Dave. Tell me on that car, that transmission, I don't care if it's an Escalade, a Tahoe, a Silverado, that is in a lot of rear-wheel drive GM vehicles. Mm-hmm. So if you're driving a rear-wheel drive GM product, we're talking to you right now. Dave, how many times do you have to actually pull that transmission out to know the failure? I mean, before you call this gentleman, you tell him what's wrong with his car. you've got that narrowed down. You just don't know the rest of the story as far as the wear and tear, but you know the problem with the transmission.
We know what that first domino is, or
Right.
what's going on with it. That's one of the things that we do that's different, is that as long as the rest of the transmission's fine, we just can take care of that one component where the failure actually is, and put it all back together and stick it, send it down the road. But a lot of people say, "Oh, we got to take it apart to find out what's wrong with it," and maybe that's what you're getting at, and that's just not true. I mean, like, really, how long have you been working on transmissions?
That's what I was getting at. Is so for those of you that have that transmission problem or have that symptom, or for Rich, when you go to the transmission shop and you describe their symptoms, and then they drop it off, they say, "Oh, Rich, we're going to have to take this thing apart, get it out." That's when you say, "No, thank you." You leave. Because it's like Dave said, what, have you never worked on a 4L60E? There's
a million of them. There's a million on the road.
Yeah, there are a million out there. So the notion that they have to take this thing out of the car and take it apart before they can give you any idea is ludicrous. And that's when you turn around and you run from that shop.
Yeah, it's the beginning of a long, painful sales process where you're going to pay 3 times what the repair's worth.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're kind of...
Or you can go back twice or whatever.
Exactly, exactly.
And I guess, it's an old tactic, and years ago maybe people didn't really know, but try taking that car...
Oh, they did. They were only simpler back then.
Yeah, so try taking that car to another shop or saying, no, it's in pieces now, and they're forcing your hand, and you don't want to be in bed with a shop like that.
No, you sure don't. So good luck with that, Rich. We are going to go with, looks like, Scott in Scottsdale. He's got a 2006 Toyota Tacoma. How can we help you, Scott? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hi, guys. Hey, my truck just broke 100,000 miles, and my airbag light came on, and it won't go off. And I'm just wondering, should I be worried, or what should I do?
I don't know that you need to worry.
Well, I don't know. It's a problem, Matt, when they blow off in your face.
Well, yeah, but
I'm teasing.
Yeah, right. You do need to get it checked and find out what's wrong with it for sure. There's no reason to be driving around with a good safety feature in your car that's not working. It's there for a reason, for safety. The problem is you don't know if it's a seatbelt latch.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know if it's the driver's side airbag. Maybe you don't like your passenger and you don't care about the airbag. That 06 Tacoma probably has at least 3 or 4. My 2010 has a knee airbag. My Tundra, I didn't even know it. I was cleaning the thing the other day. I'm like, what the heck is this airbag underneath my knees?
So when the airbag light is on, Scott, what's happening is the computer that runs the airbag system is noticing a problem, or sensor's not working, or something's wrong, and it's just disabling it. And it's telling you there's a problem. So right now with the airbag light on, some of these airbag systems may be smart enough where they know where the problem is and they're not going to run that particular part of the system, but it means it's been disabled in a lot of instances.
Yeah, and chances are it might be covered under a warranty. Those of you in your Hondas out there rolling around, they have seatbelt latches go bad all the time. They're a lifetime warranty.
For sure. Hey, Scott, if you've got a good shop to go see them, let them diagnose that for you. If you don't have a shop that you go to, bumpertobumperradio.com. There's a list of great shops all over the valley. We're going to go with Dan in Phoenix. He's got a 2013 Nissan Altima. Go ahead, Dan. You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Yeah, hey guys, great show today. Listen, I've been out of town, and while I was away, my wife's car was acting really funny and stalling and this and that, and acting jerky and things, and so she had just gotten it from the dealer for a recall maybe 2 weeks ago, and so I suggested we'll have it towed down there. Maybe they will know what it is, and they're coming back with the transmission needs to be replaced. It's that variable CVT.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that needs to be replaced, or could it be something like a sensor, or I don't know. I mean, have you had much experience with that car?
Yeah, we work on Nissans all the time. I was a little confused about the problem because you described an engine issue and then transmission came out of there, so I'm not sure what's going on as far as that goes. But as time goes on, more and more are we able to make repairs on CVT transmissions. This is the one that's been kind of a big deal lately. You have these CVTs that are overheating, this, that, and the other. There's a little filter you can pull off the little canister on the side of the transmission. There's a filter that no one thinks to service. You change that filter out, service the transmission, and she's good to go. But I think less and less that's happening. You know, people they just want to replace them. And I know dealerships have really gotten out of the business of taking transmissions apart and fixing them. They've gotten out of that altogether. They may give you the impression that they somehow do that, but most of those guys never seen the inside of a transmission. Yeah, they know how to take one out and put one back in. So anyway, but yeah, some diagnostic work needs to be done there to see what's happening. Again, if you're looking
who would be able to do that in my area near 36th Street and Camelback? Because who would you recommend?
Dan, what you can do is go to bumpertobumperradio.com and go there and look under the transmission section, and you'll find Tri-City Transmission, 32nd Street and Thomas. They're not too far from you. It's that's like buying a car or a refrigerator, or having body shop work done on a TV. You want to get a little bit out of your neighborhood and go to the place where it's worth. You very potentially could save a lot of money, or you potentially could spend a lot of money, but you're going to be spending it after doing your due diligence at a place that you're not going to have to go back to 10 times. And it's that large purchase. It's worth just going out of your box a little bit right now to do that.
For sure.
My advice, Dan.
Thanks.
Hey, one other call, Dave, before you go there. Dan mentioned he was out of town, missed some shows. If you go to bumpertobumperradio.com, you can find the podcast there of all the past shows. And I'm pretty sure you could search by CBT, you could search by transmission, you can search by the show topic and find something there for you.
For sure. Well, we're going to sneak in Suzanne. We got just a couple moments left. Suzanne's got a 2009 Hyundai Santa Fe. How can we help you, Suzanne? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hi, thanks for taking my call. I just had a question. We've had the car maintained by the dealer since we bought it, and it only has 71,000 miles, and now they're telling us that we should change the plugs because it's been in the car 10 years almost. So the car's been running fine, and I guess I'm just afraid that it won't run as fine, but should we do that?
Well, Suzanne, spark plugs do not wear out sitting there. They're one of the items that just don't wear out. Your antifreeze, or the radiator fluid, if you will, antifreeze, that's going to wear out by sitting there. It turns to acid, it turns acidic and start to corrode things. But just because the spark plugs have been in there 10 years doesn't make a damn bit of difference to me. I would suggest going to your owner's manual, and look at what the spark plug's change interval is in the owner's manual, and that's exactly what I would follow, unless there's some other repair that creates access to those spark plugs earlier. They're not real easy to get to.
Or if there's failure or carbon tracking on the plug, there may be a reason to recommend them early.
But you can't even get to them, so I think they're just odometer surfing, and we talked about that last week, and just saying, oh, you need hoses because your car has 80,000 miles on it. I wouldn't go there.
Right in the wave of the odometer.
Yeah,
odometer surfing.
Just go to the owner's manual for that one, and maybe it's worth taking a look at another shop at bumpertobumperradio.com.
We're glad you could join us. If you're looking for a friendly, honest, competent shop, you can find them at bumpertobumperradio.com. While you're there, be sure to like us on Facebook. Remember never to text and drive. And from all the shops at Bumper to Bumper Radio, have a safe, turkey-filled leftover weekend.